interruptions this time, man. Our signal should be good this time. I don't know what was going on that last slide, man. It was like they was just coming against this game. Maybe it just wasn't in the will of the game for us to be live at that time. But we back at it. Y'all already know the deal, man. Wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. Hit that like button one time, please and thank you. We're going to get right into this game, man. Wait for a few more people to get up in here and we're going to jump right into it. Okay, we getting it up there. I'm gonna wait till we got a good 50 people in here, then we're gonna jump into this game, man. Oh, this is man, what is going on? Hold on. Y'all make sure y'all wipe y'all feet off at the door so that when people get on YouTube, they can get the notifications. The more people wipe their feet off at the door, the more people get notified about this game. So do me a favor. When you step into a pimp's domain, wipe your feet off at the door. What I mean by that, hit that like button one time, please and thank you. Said they was against the message, huh? Yeah, you know, when we chop this good game, man, it's always going to be somebody or something against it. What is going on? Can y'all see me and hear me? Can y'all see me and hear me? Okay. Okay, I'm just making sure, man. Because, it's crazy. When my Android is tripping, my iPhone is cool. When my iPhone is tripping, my Android is cool. But as long as the Android is cool, because that's what we live on right now, man, it's all good, man. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all tapping in. Appreciate y'all wiping your feet off at the door, man. We're going to chop this good game. But as usual, first order of business, we got to put some love in our body, man. Y'all know we got to do that around here. Y'all already know how we get down around here. Yes. And we're going to take this sip. We're going to make a toast to happiness, health, and wealth in the game. You dig? Yeah. I don't know how anybody could think this shit is nasty or not want to put this shit in their body. Man, this shit do so many beautiful things for you and it makes you feel good and it's refreshing. This is love, man. Okay, I see 52 of y'all done wiped your feet off at the door. 53. Good shit. Good shit. You know, if you pay attention to the history of civilization, right? Uh, us as human beings, us as Homo sapiens, we have always thrived as a community. It has always been in our nature to be a part of a community, one way or another. You know, it's a proven fact throughout all the time that we do better in numbers. We do better when we on the same page, moving in the same direction on one accord, right? It's just a proven fact, right? And it's sad that within our culture, right, the main thing that's promoted is individuality. But you know, individuality is cool. It's cool to identify yourself and, you know, wanna you know, have attention to yourself and want to have credit for yourself and appreciation and praise for yourself. That's all cool, right? But you know, you don't want to get so caught up in that you lose sight of the fact that, you know, you're gonna be best suited being a part of some community and working on one accord with that community, right? And it's just natural for us as people to gravitate towards people that we relate to and form communities based on the people that we relate to, right? You know, people that subscribe to Christianity, they might not know each other, but when they find out they both Christians, you know, they gonna gravitate towards one another because they have the same beliefs, right? Same thing with a Muslim or a Buddhist or whatever the case may be, right? They might not know each other from a can of paint, but when they find that common ground of you know, the belief system, they gravitate towards each other, right? They look out for each other, they show love to each other. And you know what's crazy, right? In California, for instance, it's the same thing. You know, when you come from a certain neighborhood, you know, you might meet another individual that represents the same thing as you. Y'all don't know each other, but because y'all represent the same gang or the same area or whatever the case may be, right? Y'all gonna gravitate towards each other. You know, because y'all represent the same thing. And you know, it's crazy because individuals like that will beef with some individuals from a different section just based on the fact that they from a different section. Now, of course, you have instances where, you know, one section will do something to the other section and this, that, and the third, right? But a lot of times it just be because of geographical differences. It just be because you from over there and we from over here, right? But you know what was crazy about that? What happens when you get into the prison system, right? Them same individuals, the same exact individuals who was trying to kill each other on the streets, all of a sudden, they unite. They come together. They eat together. They break bread. They watch each other's back. They hold each other down. The same individuals that was trying to kill each other on the street because you from that part of the neighborhood and I'm from this part of the neighborhood, right? Them same individuals, they would have killed each other if they was on the streets. When they get behind them walls, they unite. Why do they unite? Because even though on the street in their neighborhoods, they have different views, they understand that when they get behind them prison walls, they not so different. They might be from, you know, one of them might be from 10th Street, the other one might be from 12th Street. But when they come together, we are from whatever city. Pomona, Long Beach, Compton, Inglewood, you know what I mean? Like, all of these cities have gangs within them cities. Pasadena, you know what I mean? San Fernando Valley, Culver City, all these different cities from LA, right? It's all LA County. But all these different cities have they beefs within those cities, right? All them different cities, Watts included, exactly. Watts is like a prime example of that because it's one of the smallest out of all the places that I named. But they probably got more beefs than all the places that I named combined, right? But them places, they get to beefing with each other. But when they go to prison, all the beef go out the window. That's like me. I'm from Long Beach, right? In Long Beach, you got different gangs that beef with each other, that will kill each other if they run into each other at the swap meet or the liquor store or the mall or at a function or whatever, right? These same dudes that'll be trying to kill each other on the street, when they get behind them prison walls, all Long Beach come together. It ain't none of that, you know, trying to kill each other, trying to fight. It ain't none of that. It's unity. Everybody from Long Beach ride together, right? Same thing with Compton and Watts. You know what I mean? Like Compton and Watts, they it's a million beefs within that shit. But when they get in prison, it's the hub and the dub. The whole Compton and the whole Watts set aside their differences and come together. Why? Because they understand that they're not so different once they get behind them prison walls. And they understand that there's other groups of people that have more drastic differences between them and them other motherfuckers with them bigger differences, them less things in common, totally different types of people. They gonna try to get you if y'all stay separated. You know what I mean? Like if we go to prison and everybody from Long Beach that's beefing on the streets is beefing in prison, and everybody from Compton and Watts that's beefing on streets is beefing in prison, guess what's gonna happen? Them other groups of people is gonna gobble you up. And they gonna probably get to the point where they controlling you, dictating you, making you do whatever you want. They want you to do all of that, right? You know, you got the white boys, you got the Paisas, you got the Norteños, you got the Sureños, you got all these different groups of people that, you know what I mean? You have to come together in order to protect yourself against the other people. Because if you don't, if you stay on that small-minded ass bullshit, you're not gonna survive. So, on that same token, right? Like, you know, the pimping. I remember a story not too long ago. My partner, he was telling me he was in Thailand, right? He was in Thailand, way on the other side of the world. And he ran into some pimping. And I don't even think they met each other before. They may have, but I'm not sure. But whatever the case, when they seen each other there, they was like this. You know what I mean? Because we understand that the pimping, you know, that's our common ground. We believe a lot of the same shit. We represent the same thing. So we could be on a different side of the world. You know, and if once we recognize and identify each other as the same thing, we gonna hold each other down. You know what I mean? Oh, pimping, you need somewhere to stay tonight, man. You come stay with me. Oh man, pimping, you need a ride, man. I got you. Come on. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, let me take you over here. This is where the rental car hookup is out here, P. I'm gonna take you, plug you in with the rental people. Just tell them Free sent you. You know what I mean? And they gonna take care of you. You know, shit like that. Like, that's the way the pimping is. Man, I just remember before social media was the way that it is now, right? This is the way we used to do things in the game. I might show up in Dallas, and I ain't never been to Dallas before, right? You know what I mean? But I know somebody who done been to Dallas before. Or I might know somebody that's from Dallas. So I'm going to call pimping. Or I might know somebody that knows somebody. I might call Pimp and be like, yeah, man, I'm out here in this motherfucking Dallas, man. You know, I'm trying to figure out my way around this motherfucker, man. I know it's good around here. I just don't know, you know, to get down. You know, I'm trying to, you know, figure it out. Hold on, Pete. I'm gonna call Whoopty Whoop to Pete. He over there in Dallas right now, man. I'm gonna have him come pull up on you. Total strangers. I don't know this motherfucker that's finna pull up on me, and he don't know me neither. You know what I mean? But he finna come up, pull up on me, roll out the red carpet. If I need some weed, if I need some drink, whatever I need, if I need something to eat, whatever, you know what I mean? He gonna roll out the red carpet for pimping, you know what I mean? Because that's how pimps do. You know what I mean? And I done did that so many times when I was younger in the game, and then now that I done been around and I know more people in the game, motherfuckers could do that with me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, P, I'm out here in Miami. Even though I'm not in Miami right now, somebody might call me and be like, P, I'm in Miami, man. What do I do out here? Hold on, pimp. I'm finna call such and such, man. They finna pull up on you. You know what I mean? That's the way it's supposed to be in the game. You know, I just remember a cat I was cool with named Baby Mike out of Portland, man. He was telling me about back like in the 80s when he was in New York, fucked up, right? He didn't have nowhere to go. He lost the hoes that he came out there with. He in New York fucked up, and he from Portland, Oregon. You know what I mean? Sir Captain seen him and didn't know him from a can of paint, but because he was some pimping, you know what I mean? He scooped him up, made sure he was straight, took care of him. Everything else was good. The rest is history. You know what I mean? My point is, we do a lot better as a community than we do individually. You know, and it don't always have to be a situation where we fucked up and we look out for each other. You know what I mean? You might, as the pimping, you might see a young pimp that's doing real good, but you know how he could be doing a whole lot better. You know some shit that he don't know, that if you was to impart this information to him, he would do a whole lot better to take his game to the next level. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, pimping, you know what I mean? I see you over there, you checking it. You having a gang of money, man. But before you go blow all your money on some bullshit, man, I got some investment ideas over here, man. Let me lay this shit out for you and see if you might be interested in this shit. This the type of shit that we supposed to do in the game. See, when I was young in the game, you know, that's one thing that was unfortunate, man. A lot of the elder pimps, they didn't let certain things be known, man, as far as how they made certain shit happen. And, you know, different moves that they was making in order to thrive when they got upper in age, right? You know what I mean? Things like having good credit or having property, owning shit, you know, making certain investments, passive income, portfolio income. You know, it's a lot of shit that motherfuckers don't talk about. And it's sad because you got some older P's in the game that had this game, but they don't be trying to share it with the younger pimping, you know? And it's a big part of that is because, you know, selfishness is heavily promoted in the game, you know, now more so than ever. You know, it's crazy the contradictions that exist in the game, because on one hand, a motherfucker will say, don't nobody got love for a pimp except for what? Another pimp, right? This is an old cliche in the game that probably been being said since before I was born. Don't nobody love a pimp but another pimp, right? If you know that love word is strong. So if nobody loves a pimp but another pimp, if a pimp loves another pimp, then, you know, that love is going to be displayed through behavior. It's going to be displayed through interactions with each other, right? But on the same token as that, another very old cliche that I'm pretty sure was being said before I was born is that the friendship ends where the pimping begins. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. You know, motherfuckers just be saying shit that sound good. You know, and the friendship ends where the pimping begins. I understand the sentiment of it, but it should be better communicated than that. You know what I mean? What needs to be said is simply, we don't trip over each other off of bitches. You know what I mean? Because I'm the type of motherfucker, right? I might have a hoe, and Sepulveda the Prince, me and Sepulveda the Prince, we like this, right? You know what I mean? And we been like this for however many years. But, you know, I got a hoe, and this bitch likes Sepulveda the Prince. You know what I mean? Her and Sepulveda the Prince the other day, they was in the 7-Eleven, and the bitch was staring at him. You know what I mean? Sepulveda the Prince held the door open for the bitch, and she said thank you with her out-of-pocket ass, which she know damn well she ain't supposed to say thank you to Sepulveda the Prince. You know what I mean? But I catch wind of this shit, right? I find out that the bitch likes Sepulveda the Prince. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna line it up. Like, bitch, if you really want to fuck with Sepulveda the Prince, y'all can fuck with each other. And I'm gonna take the bitch to Sepulveda the Prince, make it happen, and then now Sepulveda the Prince got the bitch. So we stop being friends because the pimping begins with him and the bitch. We stop being friends over this bitch that I just, like, you know, willingly surrendered to him. Come on, man, that don't make no sense. We still gonna keep doing the same shit we do. You know what I mean? We still gonna be partners just like we was. You know what I mean? And when that bitch long gone, guess what we still gonna be doing? The same shit we been doing before we even knew that bitch existed. You know what I mean? So that's what needs to be said. When people say the friendship ends when the pimping begins, that's what they mean by that. But it's a flawed phrase. It's not communicated properly, because motherfuckers will take that as, you know, the pimping is cutthroat towards each other. You know, it's about the bitch instead of the pimping. You know, we gon' snake each other for the bitch. That's what some people interpret that as. But what it really means is, you know, we don't trip over bitches. We don't get into it over bitches. We still gonna be cool. We gonna be on the same level that we been on, you know, whatever this bitch decide to do. It ain't gonna never be over the bitch. You know what I mean? But I say all of that to say that's the beauty of being a community, right? And see, we need more of that in the game. We need more community in the game. We need more respect for one another in the game. We need more love for one another in the game. We need more cooperation and generosity for one another in the game. Because when we do that, we all thrive as a community. We all do better as a community, right? It's so many things that we supposed to be doing in the game right now that we are not doing. It's so many things that we could and should be doing in the game right now that we are not doing. It's so many things that are taking place in the world that are advancing different groups of people while we just getting left behind. Like I say all the time, man, it's so many new millionaires and billionaires being created. It's ridiculous. There are several men right now that are worth hundreds of billions of dollars. If that doesn't provoke you to want more out of life, then I don't know what will. If that doesn't make you think like, damn, what the fuck am I doing wrong? What the fuck am I doing right that I need to be doing more of? What the fuck am I doing okay at that I need to be great at? What the fuck do I need to get together? You know, because I think about like what that means to me when I see a motherfucker, several different motherfuckers on the planet that's worth hundreds of billions, and then you have businesses now that are worth trillions of dollars. Amazon is a $1 trillion company. Do you know how much money that is? Do you know how many motherfucking zeros that is? You know what I mean? Trillion. Amazon is a $1 trillion company. You know what a motherfucker could do with $1 trillion? Come on, man. Shit. With $1 trillion, I could change everybody's life in Long Beach. And Long Beach is a city with 500,000 people. 500,000 people. I could change everybody's life. There's one person that runs that company. Of course, it's a team of people, but it's one person in charge of that company. Jeff Bezos. One man built a corporation from his fucking garage in Seattle, and that motherfucker is worth $1 trillion right now. A business he started in his garage. You know what I mean? Which I'm sure when he started that business in his garage, it was pimps checking it like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? It was some pimping somewhere checking it like a motherfucker. I'm sure it was some pimping down the street from him in Seattle checking it like a motherfucker while he was starting his business in his garage. But his outlook was different. His understanding was different. His belief system was different. His ambition was different. And that's why he is where he is today. You know, our outlook is too small. Our belief system is too weak. Our ambition is microscopic in comparison to other motherfuckers in the world. And that's the only reason why we aren't thriving better as a community, man. Like, it's supposed to be, of course, you're going to have your different classes in the game, just like any other community or walk of life or whatever the case may be, right? But there should be a significant number of millionaires in the game, but it's not. And it's not because it can't happen. It's not because the money ain't available. It's because our ambition is too small. Our belief is too weak. Our faith is too weak. You know what I mean? As I say all the time, how you see is how you gonna be. If you see small, you're gonna be small. And we magnify the smallest shit because our outlook on shit is so motherfucking small. You know, I liked what Sinful did, and I ain't trying to bring up no drama, but you know, an individual on Instagram was going back and forth with Sinful, and you know, Sinful pointed out to him because he said something about he's like, nigga, I'll pull out 500,000 right now. You know what I mean? And Sinful was being funny, but he was being real at the same time. And he made a good point. Like, nigga, 500,000, you still broke. That ain't shit. You know what I mean? And it really ain't, because shit, I don't know what the statistics are, but I know the upper middle class, the median income for an upper middle class family gotta be higher than that. It has to be. Which means it's a lot of square, but in the game, we see that as like upper class. You know, we see that as like top of the food chain in the game. If a motherfucker got $500,000 cash, we see that as like, ooh wee, you know? But that shouldn't be, you know, it's cool. Like I say all the time, man, certain things should be seen the same as you see a running back rushing for 1,000 yards. You know, they did their job. Nothing amazing, but at the same time, you're not going to shit on it neither. It's just right on. You did your job. Good job. You know? But rushing for 1,000 yards ain't going to get you no trophies. It ain't going to get you no accolades, no awards. But it's going to get you some respect, though. You're going to be respected for that. That's how we should see shit like that. You know? the beautiful thing, like I say, like I know y'all probably be thinking I'll be using sinful as an example all the time because, that's my bro and everything like that. But, I hope that you can look beyond that and just pay attention to what I'm saying, right? Look beyond the fact that me and sinful is cool and just pay attention to what I'm saying, right? The reason why a lot of people hate sinful, people with more money than sinful, people who probably got more hoes than sinful, a big part of the reason why they hate him, and they don't even understand why they hate him. But a big part of the reason why they hate him, really and truly, is because his power of influence, the effect that he has on masses of people. You know what I mean? Like I talked about yesterday, value. He adds value to the lives of many people. And if we had that mindset across the game of adding value instead of take, use, you know what I mean? As Andre Taylor said, a lot of people in the game think that the game is about usury, and it's not. But yet and still, a lot of people in the game, they move with the outlook of usury. They move with the mindset of usury, of using people in the game. You got motherfuckers in the game that's using hoes, but swear up and down they pimping. Motherfucker told me on Instagram Live last month, I'm live with this dude on Instagram because he was talking shit saying, if you 40 years old, which is exactly how old I have to be, if you 40 years old and you still pimping, something wrong, like you too old to be doing that or some shit he said. But so I get on the live with him and we going back and forth, and then he proceeds to tell me, yeah, I'm a trap while my bitch trap. You gonna trap while your bitch trap. He don't understand the mouthful that he said when he said that, right? I'm gonna trap while my bitch trap. Basically what he's saying is he gonna sell whatever he gotta sell while the bitch sell whatever she gotta sell. Another situation, a young partner of mine, he knocked this dude for a bitch, and come to find out the dude had all of his bitches selling pussy and drugs at the same time. With the advent of soft white underbelly, it's become like a very generic term, but it's still a fitting term. These dudes are hoe hustlers. Anytime where you slanging or hustling or doing whatever it is that you doing, and you got these bitches on the side selling pussy or whatever the case may be, that's not the game. That's not what we do. You're not the pimping. It's okay call yourself a hustler. I don't know why everybody gotta be the pimping. Like, just because they got a bitch selling pussy, I'm the pimping. Like, you don't have to be a pimp. Don't call yourself that, because that's not what pimps do. Pimps don't sell dope and send hoes to sell pussy at the same time. We don't do that. That's not what pimps do. Preem Team, Mac Money, good looking with the $10 holler. Peas up to all my fellow P's in the building. Keep it pimping. Freeze for president. Good looking, Preem Team, Mac Money, good looking. I appreciate you. And also, my brother Bill, as always, good looking with the $10 holler. Glory to God. Blessings to the Most High for this game. Happy New Year, my brother, in iron and excellence. Dig that. Blessings to the Freezetation. I appreciate you, Bill. Good looking. I think that was, yeah, and it's 232 of y'all in here, but only 146 of y'all done wiped your feet off at the door? Man, are you serious? You mean to tell me that many of y'all came in here and didn't wipe your feet off at the door? Y'all's tripping. Y'all tracking mud all in the pimp's domain. Y'all tracking bullshit all in the pimp's domain. Wipe your feet. Go back to the door. Wipe your feet off, man. Step out the chat real quick. Hit that button that look like this. Then step back in the chat. And then put some of this good old love shit in your body. You did. But yeah, so as I say, man, we getting left behind. As a community, the pimping in the home, we getting left behind. You know, and you know, it's sad because some of them dudes that's hoe hustling, they might got a bone in them. They just got the wrong understanding about this motherfucking game. They might have some ism somewhere within them, but they just moving so backwards in the game. And, you know, they don't understand that we don't carry this lifestyle the same way a gangbanger carries their lifestyle or a hustler carries their lifestyle. You know, this is something totally different. And, you know, it would be beautiful if we created more of a contrast as the pimping. If we distinguished ourselves better, not just by the way that we talk and the way that we dress, but how we carry ourselves and how we think and how we communicate and how we do for each other. You know, it's sad, man. Like, I remember when I was in Miami, man, I just remember having a feeling that, you know, motherfuckers who's supposed to be the pimping will be like secretly eating their heart out and praying for your downfall. You know, and the type of individuals that if a pimp did fall down, they'll be somewhere to themselves smiling instead of hitting the pimping and being like, hey man, what's going on? You cool? Where you at, man? I'm finna pull up. And then, you know, making sure the pimping is straight. You know, it's a lot of that in Miami, I hate to say, man. You know, and Miami's not the only place that's like that. But I just remember that feeling. The feeling of, you know, when everybody is doing good, they come together and kick it and, you know, smile in each other's face. But if one of those pimps happen to fall bad and fall on tough times, if he loses hoes, if he catch a case, if, you know, whatever the case, he lose his shit that he got, you know, they don't come together and provide support to that individual. They come together away from him and talk about him, gossip about him. You know what I mean? You know, laugh about him. You know, if a bitch told on him and put him in a fucked up situation, they over there trying to get at that same bitch that told on him and put him in a fucked up situation. You know, it's just, and I've seen a lot of that energy out there. You know, and you know, it's just so contrary to the game. And those individuals, they don't understand, like, you know, basically what it is motherfuckers be wanting to be the only one shining. They want to be shining bigger than everybody else and better than everybody else. But they don't understand how good it looks when everybody that you know is shining and y'all helping each other and looking out for each other and making sure each other look good as a community. To the hoes, you know, the hoes will respect the game a whole lot better. They will respect pimps a whole lot better if pimps respected each other better and showed love to each other better. You know, it's crazy, man. But it would just be a beautiful thing, man, if it was just more love displayed in the game. And like I said, you got a lot of cats that just, you know, They want to be the only one shining. See, man, like I hear stories about BMF. Speaking of Miami, right? When you talk to people who was in Miami like 20 years ago, they tell you stories about how Big Meech in the BMF, how they used to come through. When they come to South Beach, everybody pulling up. It's like 20 or 30 luxury and exotic ass cars, brand new, pulling up. They would just shut down the whole South Beach. They just take that motherfucker over. And they just pull up and have their way and do their thing. Everybody shining. You know what I mean? Everybody pulling up in big exotic and luxury cars. Then when they jump out, everybody got big jewelry. They shining, looking good. You know what I mean? Everybody got money. You know, that's the way the pimp is supposed to be. The pimp is supposed to be the same way. And they don't understand the power in that, the way that looks. You know what I mean? Just like, you know, it done been times where it'll be like 5, 6, 7 pimps, and you know, everybody got nice cars, and we'll caravan different places together. You know what I mean? And it's just a good look when you pull up. You know what I mean? And everybody is shining and looking good. You know, motherfuckers don't understand the power in that, though. The respect that comes with that. And the protection that comes with that. You know, it should be a thing where, you know, if somebody was to cause harm to a pimp or think about causing harm to a pimp, he know that he gonna have to deal with all the rest of the community. You know what I mean? Because we're not gonna stand for that. You know, even it's sad because the way I've heard of instances where and certain individuals that's watching, y'all probably know what I'm talking about. But I've heard of instances where, you know, a blade might run through a certain neighborhood, right? And it's a certain gang in that neighborhood that blade runs through. But you have some pimping or different pimps who come from that neighborhood. And because they come from that neighborhood, they gonna keep some respect between the gang in that neighborhood and the pimping. It's gonna be an understanding. Like, look, man, you know, pimping over here doing their thing, man. You know, we gonna keep it respectful. Pimping ain't gonna violate y'all, and y'all not gonna violate the pimping. You know what I mean? You know, the hoes over here is gonna be cool, and it'll become a thing where even the hoes is safe. And if some bullshit happen with a trick, the gang over there is gonna look out and all that type of shit. You know, that's the way it's supposed to be. You know, and when there's love and respect for each other like that, and then you put it with some game, right? You know, you put it with some game and you cook shit up, you stir shit up in a pot, and you come with some brilliant ass ideas, like investment ideas, and you know, you come up with a plan to make sure, okay, we all shining on the street side, but we need to all be shining on the legit side. We all need to be shining on the stock market. We all need to be shining in real estate. We all need to be shining in business. Hold on, man. That's my baby calling me. Hold on. Excuse me. What are you doing? Nothing. Did you have a good day at school?
I almost got homework, but I didn't.
You almost got homework.
I was about to not be. Okay, so I was working on something, but I got it done.
Oh, you got it done, so you ain't got homework because you did your schoolwork. Okay. Everything straight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Did you call that karate? Did you call that karate school?
Not answering.
They still not answering? All right, well, in about an hour, I'm gonna call myself and see if I can get somebody on the phone.
Okay, so yesterday I went to the ice cream shop for ice cream because that truck was coming. I spent $5, but I got $4 back. No, it's just $1 off.
So how much money you got now?
54.
$54?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I might need to borrow 50 cents later.
50 cents?
Yeah, I might need to borrow 50 cents. It's hard out here for your dad. I might have to borrow 50 cents from you.
I'll give you $1.
Oh, you gonna give me a whole dollar? Check you out. What'd you eat today?
PB&J.
PB&J.
Well, because it was lunch, but...
Okay, well, I have to finish doing something right now, so I'm gonna call you back when I'm done, all right?
Okay.
All right, love you.
Love you, bye.
Bye. All right, so, but yeah, you know, like I said, we need to be shining in the real estate world. We need to be shining on the stock market. We need to be shining in the tech world. We need to be shining in all these different worlds, man. You know, we don't understand our power. If you think about it, every social media that's really popping right now, it really got popping because of, you know, somebody in the urban culture. You know, like DJ Khaled, he really helped get Snapchat popping. Somebody else helped get Snapchat popping too, I think, even before him. Instagram. Snoop Dogg was really instrumental on Instagram. Meek Mill was instrumental on Instagram. You know what I mean? Soulja Boy got YouTube popping. You know, before anybody else did. Speaking of Soulja Boy, you're right. So, and then if you think about sports, all the different all the different professional sports leagues are really popping because of us. Not just because of our athleticism, but because of our cultural influence as well. You know what I mean? When it comes to hip hop, man, hip hop has some sort of influence on damn near everything nowadays. So, you know, of course, that's on a much grander scale, but the fact remains that we have a power of influence as young black people that's crazy. And we don't even understand it. And because we don't understand it, we don't know what to do with that shit. But it's there. We have it to utilize whenever we become inclined to utilize the shit. You dig? And it's no different for the pimping and the hoeing. You know, hoes don't even understand they influence on these female rappers. And because they don't understand they influence on these female rappers, they trying to be like the female rappers. But y'all don't understand that you're the reason why they even, like the City Girls and Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, these bitches are influenced by you. They trying to be like you. But because you magnify them, again, we magnify the smallest shit. You know what I mean? And not that what they doing is small, but what you doing ain't small neither, bitch, as a hoe. So you need to understand your power of influence. You the reason why they rap the way that they do. You influence them. Meg Thee Stallion is influenced by hoes. Cardi B used to want to be a hoe and tried to, you know, kind of halfway had her foot in the shit, dabble with it, but bottom line, her rapping is influenced by hoes. City Girls rapping influenced by hoes. You know what I mean? All these other little rap bitches, I don't really know too much about them, but I guarantee you, because that's the trend now. The trend now is to rap about getting money from a guy, one way or another. That's what the trend is now with these female rappers. These female rappers, the trend is to rap about, you know, getting some money. What's not clicking, Steven? And all of those stupid ass shit. You know what I mean? That's why I'm glad I ain't on Instagram, because I ain't got to see them stupid ass videos no more. But all of that shit is influenced by hoes. But them bitches got the game backwards. The shit that they rap about, that's not really the game. That's just what they think about. Shout out to Donna Cherry. Y'all need to make her motherfucking ass go platinum. Because out of all these female rappers, Donna Cherry is the only one rapping about the game the way it really is. The way it really goes. You know what I mean? Because Donna Cherry, you know what I mean? What I love about Donna Cherry, she stay bigging up the pimping. She stay keeping the pimping in the equation. She stay promoting pimping and hoeing. Not just hoeing, not just prostituting, not just, you know, bitch, fuck these men and all of those shit. No, she promotes pimping and hoeing. So shout out to Donna Cherry, man. The only female rapper I know that you know, she my favorite female rapper. You know what I mean? I don't know if I ever really had a favorite female rapper, but if I do, you know what I mean, it's Donna Cherry the Chop. You dig? Because she promotes, like I said, pimping and hoeing. But my point is, a lot of these female rappers, I guess, if you want to put some terminology to it, they culture vultures. You know what I mean? Like how a lot of people accuse Drake of being a culture vulture. Meg Thee Stallion is a culture vulture. City Girls, they culture vultures. Motherfucking Cardi B, culture vulture. And every other female rapper that's popular off of this shit, what's her name? I can't leave her out too. Doja Cat, culture vulture. You know what I mean? All these bitches is culture vultures. You know, same bitches that if they wasn't famous rappers, they probably was talking about hoes and trying to, you know, badmouth hoes and make hoes be stupid for wanting to fuck with pimps and all that type of shit. You know, but now you bitches want to be like them when they ain't doing nothing but trying to be like y'all and doing a horrible job at it, but they know how to make it sound good in music and people shake their ass to it and stream it and make them bitches rich and famous. But the bottom line is you don't understand your power of influence. So if you can influence people in that way, you can also influence tricks to give you the type of money that you want them to give you. Because if you was to ask every hoe in the game, if we was to take a survey and ask every hoe in the game if they could make their value higher, would they? Or do they think they're as valuable as they can be? I guarantee you that at least 99.9% would say they would make their value higher. You know what I mean? Or the average cost of their time and their services. If they could make that higher, would they? I guarantee you 99.9%, you know, you got to leave that 0.1% in there because some bitches is stupid. But 99.9% is going to say that they would. You know, and they don't understand that they can. And a big part of the reason why they don't understand that they can is because pimping don't understand that they can. See, we just have to create a better atmosphere in the game. See, the atmosphere in the game is just very small-minded. The atmosphere in the game is the type of atmosphere that prompts you to think small. And it's not growing with the rest of the world. You know what I mean? Like imagine when you a little kid, you know, you growing up and your foot just ain't growing. The whole rest of your body is growing, but your foot, you still got that same baby foot. And now, you know what I mean, you 6'5", you know, 280 pounds, but you still got the same size foot of when you was a baby. You're going to be looking at that foot like, damn, what the fuck is wrong with this foot? You know what I mean? That's us. We the foot of the world. We that baby foot. The whole rest of the world is growing, and we just stand like this. And see, what I want people to understand, it don't have nothing to do with the track. It don't have nothing to do with the internet. It don't have nothing to do with the strip club. It don't have nothing to do with casinos or freelancing in bars or whatever you want to call it. It don't have nothing to do with that. Because guess what? Tricks everywhere got money. Tricks on the blade, guess what they got? Money. Tricks in the strip club, guess what they got? Money. Tricks on the internet, guess what they got? Money. Tricks in the casino, money. Like, all of these motherfuckers got money. But it's the atmosphere that makes them feel like they can get away with spending a small amount of money. The same exact bitch will hit a lick or not even hit a lick. A trick will just feel like he need to give his bitch $3,000 or $5,000 or whatever. That same bitch can be on the blade, and if he meet that bitch on the blade, he gonna feel like because it's on the blade that, you know, he can get at the bitch that he was gonna give $5,000 to. He feel like he can give her $100 over here just because of where they are. But what I want you to understand is it's not the location, it's the atmosphere, it's the climate of the game. And the people within the game have the power to change the climate of the game to where, you know, everybody in the game should be on one accord that, okay, you know, pussy everywhere has to cost at least this much. It don't matter if a motherfucker on the blade doing car dates or a motherfucker in the strip club in the VIP or a bitch in the in-call or wherever a bitch is at. You know what I mean? Because the money is there. The money is there. You know what I mean? And then now, see, it's different. You know, motherfuckers compare, you know, a lot of people like to compare the old times to the current times in the game. You know, pimps from the 70s, in the 80s and 90s, they like to compare their era to today's era and shit like that. But, you know, they don't understand this era is the most complicated that it's ever been, for one. But two, along with it being more complicated, is way more opportunities. You know what I mean? Like, in the 70s, pimps didn't have Instagram to like start a legitimate business or an investment or anything like that and promote it on there. You know, like Juju. Juju got a clothing line. You know what I mean? Where he makes suits and all that shit. Like, he can get on Instagram and promote that. Pimps in the 70s didn't have that type of action. You know what I mean? I got a YouTube channel. Sinful got a YouTube channel. You know what I mean? Sharp is doing his thing on No Jumper. You know what I mean? Like, it's so many different opportunities available right now. And not just that, but, you know, investing, not only is it more lucrative than ever, but it's easier than ever. You know what I mean? You can get on your motherfucking phone and buy stock right now. You can get on your phone right now and buy some Amazon stock right now. Buy some Bank of America stock right now. Buy some Louis Vuitton stock right now, some Nike stock right now. Well, I don't know about Louis Vuitton. I don't know. But Nike, you can buy some Nike stock right now. You know what I mean? You like wearing Nikes? Buy you some Nike stock. You can do that on your phone right now. The pimps in the 70s couldn't do that. Everything was political back then. And, even if a pimp was aware of the stock market, I don't know. I wasn't around back in them times, but just understanding history, 9 times out of 10, the pimps back then, they probably was like blackballed out of the stock market. Even if they wanted to try to get in, you know what I mean? It was the type of thing where they might let them in, but make sure they fail right away. You know what I mean? Or do something to backdoor them out of their stocks, or, just some type of underhanded ass shit would go on. Same thing with real estate. But it's different now. You know what I mean? Money really talks right now more than ever. Money talks now more than it ever has. You know what I mean? So it's so many different programs that they got out there to help, people buy homes, depending on where you fall on the poverty line, or whether or not you're a first-time buyer. Like, I'm not going to try to pretend like I know all of this shit, but what I do know is that there's a lot of shit available to motherfuckers if you just dig and you just research. It's a lot of money out there that's just up for grabs legally. And if you the type of motherfucker that's in the streets, getting money on a regular basis, you have the type of liquid available that the average square NFTs, that's another thing going on right now. You know what I mean? Non-fungible token. But see, if you in the game, right, and you in the streets making money every day, you have the type of liquid available to you right now that the average square don't have available. You know what I mean? It's certain squares that they have a plan that, I'm going to take this much money out of each paycheck so that after 6 months, I'll have this much money to invest over here, and I'm going to make it grow like this. They be having long-ass, drawn-out-ass plans. But the reason why they plans are so long and drawn out is because they don't have the capital right now. It's motherfuckers watching right now that's getting their money in the streets right now that have the capital right now. You know what I mean? You just don't have the mindset right now. And that's the only thing that's stopping you from becoming a millionaire. You just, and see, you got to understand that a lot of things today are set up to keep you stupid. A lot of things are set up right now to keep you inundated, to keep you from being inclined to be great, recognizing your potential, recognizing, what you can become and what you can make happen and what you can do. A lot of shit a lot of this shit is by design. You know what I mean? They want you to stay on TikTok and do this all motherfucking day because they know if you snap out of that shit and start researching and start studying and start educating yourself and start thinking and start imagining and start realizing, you're going to do some hell of a shit. But they don't want you to do that. It's available for you to do it whenever you become inclined to do it, but they rather you just do this. They rather you just do this. You know what I mean? And Blue Hunter, that is all, as always, good looking with the $5 holler. Preach to and freeze, make the game great again. Indeed, man, for sure. But it's just so much power that we could be having, man. It's a trip. I was talking with one of my partners the other day, and he was kicking around the idea that myself and some other cats done kicked around before. The thought of, us having like like an account or a pot, so to speak, where, you know, we all just, like he even said, and that was some real shit. Like if you just took everybody in the game and got everybody in the game to agree to just invest $1 a week for the sake of, you know, like a fund for the game. Yeah, exactly, like a trust for the game, to where if a pimp gets in a jam, you know what I mean, if he got like a legal situation going on, he need a lawyer or he need bail or whatever the case may be, you know, or if we pull this together and think of a way to invest and grow and make something, you know, for all of us to benefit from, you know. I don't want to say too much on here, but I got certain ideas that something like it done been done in the game, but it hasn't been done by us, and it benefited other people outside the game, and it didn't benefit us the way it was supposed to, you know. And we have the power because we're in the community. We can do the shit ourselves and make it thrive and do it so much bigger and better. And we have the other motherfuckers who made mistakes to learn from. Man, they did some major shit. They did some amazing shit. But, you know, they don't have the game like we have. So that's why they made the mistakes that they made. That's why they failed the way that they did. But we know how to study that, observe that. Okay, we know what not to do now. We gonna do it like this. Like, seriously. It's so much shit that people outside the game have done that those of us in the game, we utilize the shit, but it doesn't really serve us the way that it's supposed to serve us. You know what I mean? If you could just use your imagination and think about things that those of us in the game utilize that don't serve us the way that it's supposed to serve us because it's being done by people outside the game. You know, we should be doing shit for ourselves within the game, on the legal side of the game, you know, so that we can, you know, we can live better as a community. We could thrive better as a community, and we could take care of ourselves and our loved ones in a much more effective way. That's the way this shit is supposed to be, man. You know, we supposed to have a better atmosphere. We supposed to have a better climate in the game. We supposed to have better energy in the game. You know, it's supposed to be the type of thing, once again, where when people see the pimping, they just understand that it's a force to be reckoned with, even if they don't understand that this is a pimp. Oh, he's a pimp? Oh, no, even if they don't understand that, they might think to themselves like, damn, I don't know what he's about, what he got going on, but I know he's somebody important. That's the type of energy that we're supposed to have, all of us. You know what I mean? Once again, like with BMF, you know, it's probably a lot of squares that wasn't really in the streets that didn't understand who they were, what they did, or what they were about. But the way that they came, the way that they pushed, people knew that they were a force to be reckoned with. And they were people to be respected and revered. Like, damn. Shit, I don't know who the fuck these niggas is, but shit, they doing their thing. That's the way the pimp is supposed to be. That's the way hoes is supposed to be. Hoes is supposed to be like Rolex watches. All hoes are supposed to be like that. When you see a Rolex, you see quality, and you know that it's not cheap. You know that you're going to have to spend some money for this motherfucker. That's the way hoes is supposed to be everywhere. Everywhere. See, a lot of people put more importance on the avenue or the arena than the individuals that utilize the avenue or the arena. A lot of people put more faith in the blade that the hoe is on than the hoe that's on the blade. Motherfuckers put more faith in the casino that the hoe is in instead of the hoe that's in the casino, and so on and so forth. You know, motherfuckers talk down on the blade and will talk up on the internet or talk up on the carpet or whatever the case may be, when should none of that shit matter. As long as it's a hoe doing it, that's really all that should matter. But motherfuckers magnify and want to give the credit to the arena or the avenue instead of the individual or the individuals or the household. Like, man, it's a hoe doing that. Big ups to the hoes, wherever they doing their thing at. They valuable, they important, they powerful, no matter where they doing their thing at. Sevy Sev, good looking with the $10 holler. You're brilliant. I appreciate you, Sevy Sev. Thank you. But yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be, man. And what's gonna help that be the case is, it goes back to each one teach one. That's how a lot of it starts. People look at me crazy when I sit and chop it up with certain young P's or certain young dudes in the game. The motherfuckers might look at and be like, man, that ain't no pimp. That's a gangbanger. Man, he over there tripping about the bitch. He tried to fight Pimping about the bitch last week. He brandished the firearm on this pimp last week about the bitch. You know what I mean? He threatened that pimp a couple days ago about the bitch. But see, what they don't understand is, what motherfuckers don't know, man, it's some very well-respected veteran pimps in the game right now that started out just like that. This started out as that gangbanger that was tripping over the bitch until some pimping came along and gave them the understanding. You got certain individuals that started out as that dope boy that was treating the bitch like his dope sack, treating the bitch like his trap house, treating the bitch like his corner that he got to hold down and protect and keep motherfuckers from trying to come take his corner or take his dope spot. Came into the game like that until some pimping sat down with him and gave him the understanding about this motherfucking game. And now it's a well-respected pimp that you would have never guessed that about. So, a motherfucker who got that type of energy in the game, you can't be afraid to share that type of energy and spread that type of energy, because it's contagious. And the bad energy is contagious too. And if a gangbanger come up to the pimping and, he on gangbanger time and want to get violent with a motherfucker, like, we all know the tough guys don't really last too long in the streets. So you could get on his same level and reciprocate that same energy, and now y'all both trying to be tough with each other. But where is that going to get you or him? It might get you in the hospital. It might get you in the grave. It might get you in the penitentiary. But if you just operate in the spirit of the game, see, a lot of motherfuckers don't know what that shit feel like, man. It's just such a beautiful feeling, man. When a motherfucker trying to take you out of your zone and you just respond with the game, and you just spank them with the game, or you just change their whole energy with the game. You take them from being angry and violent to smooth and coherent with the game. That's the power that pimps possess. We have the power to come in and change the energy of the whole situation. and keep things peaceful and keep things game oriented. Now we kicking game. Now we building. Now we talking about plans and ideas as opposed to people. I mean, now we not tripping off of gossip, tripping off of he say, she say. We chopping this. We talking about how we gonna be greater. That's the power that pimps possess. And if you stay mindful of that power in whatever situation you involve yourself in, you're utilizing this power. It's gonna get around, man. It's gonna be contagious. It have been so many times, man, on social media where motherfuckers will be going this way with the conversation. They're gonna be going all the way left. Left. And everybody in the conversation going left. And I've done the shit myself, and I've seen Sinful do shit himself, and I've seen a few other individuals do the shit they self. But while everybody going left, Pimp will be like, hold on, well, what about this over here? And then all the motherfuckers over here be like, damn, you got a point. Next thing you know, everybody over here. And now it's a game-oriented conversation as opposed to he say, she say, gossip. Now we over here kicking game. Because one individual was over here like, yoo-hoo, game, over here, we pimps. You know what I mean? Pimps kick game. We don't get involved in that shit over there. Y'all supposed to be over here with me kicking game. Oh damn, you right, pimping. Shit, what the fuck we doing over here? Let's go over here with this game. That's what pimps do. You know what I mean? And I know if it could be done on social media, it could be done in real life. It could be done in the streets. Where it's gonna it's gonna stick to a motherfucker's ribs better. You did? Andre Castile says, I hear you and I feel you, P, but you can't pimp past everything. See, listen. You're right. There's certain things that you can't pimp past. And guess what? Because there's certain things that you can't pimp past, when you keep pimp energy and you stay in a pimp's mindset, you're not going to pimp into the shit that you can't pimp past. You're going to pimp away from the shit that you can't pimp past. You know what I mean? Like I tell hoes all the time, right? Game is the best weapon that a hoe could take to the track with her. It's real common now for hoes to take pistols with them. Hoes been taking knives, which I don't even think hoes should take knives with them to work. But hoes been doing that. Pepper spray, okay, yeah. Hoes been doing that too. But now a lot of bitches take pistols to work with them. A lot of bitches be down on the track with a pistol on them, which is crazy. Especially for a female. Somebody that's driven by emotions. Somebody that if you know what I mean? Bitch tripping, pulling her pistol out. The best weapon that a hoe could take to the track with her is game. Because game is going to help you avoid those types of situations that you don't have to hoe yourself out of. And on the same token, game is going to help pimping avoid them types of situations that he going to have to pimp past. You right. Some motherfuckers ain't got no understanding. Some motherfuckers ain't got no reasoning. But if you stay operating within the spirit of the game, you're going to avoid them types of situations that you have to pimp past. Or that you can't pimp past. You know what I mean? That's why it's important to always operate in the spirit of the game. The pimping, we all know this. We all know situations where we done sent hoes out and them bitches got themselves into a situation because they didn't apply game. I was just talking about the shit just earlier today with one of my young partners. He was like, yeah, P, that game that you gave me, man, to give to them hoes on how to, screen and do this and do that, man, that shit really be working, man. But, man, them hoes got jammed up the other day. And guess why they got jammed up? They didn't apply the game. You know what I mean? So on that same token, the game is going to help bitches from, going to jail, catching cases, or getting tickets, or whatever the case may be. Game is also going to help hoes avoid, altercations with tricks. Game, we all know situations where hoes just don't have no concept of being out of pocket or being in pocket. They just out there moving around. And then when they get out of pocket, they don't even know what the fuck that is. So as soon as a pimp say something they don't like, they disrespecting the pimping now. But why did they get themselves into that situation? Because they weren't taught, they weren't laced about the art of staying in pocket. So because they weren't laced about the art of staying in pocket, they all the way out of pocket. And now they're getting themselves into situations because they don't understand the game the right way. Same thing with the pimping. When you, like I said, when you respond in kind, when you just out there moving because I'm a man, I'm a pimp, ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me, ain't nobody gonna do this to me, ain't nobody gonna do nothing that to me, da 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 da. It's a lot of tough ass niggas this in the ground cold right now because they think like that. The toughest motherfucker ain't gonna be the longest lasting motherfucker. The smart motherfucker is gonna be the longest lasting motherfucker. And that's what the pimping is. The pimping supposed to be the smartest motherfucker. The pimping supposed to be operating in the spirit of game at all times. So, whatever he may involve himself in, do what they supposed to do as well. If they follow instructions, you know what I mean? And, avoiding situations by applying game as well, everybody gonna be cool. Now, everybody in the game, and nobody in the game is perfect. So sometimes we involve ourselves in situations just being realistic. But for the most part, a pimp is gonna avoid them types of situations that he can't pimp past. Put some more of this good old love in my body. If you ain't wiped your feet off at the door, man, please do so now. What I mean by that, hit that like button for a pimp one time, please, and thank you. And of course, put some of this good old love shit in your body. Yeah, man, but like I said, the atmosphere, it got to be one of, it got to be more game oriented, because whatever the atmosphere is, that's what people are going to adapt to. If you in an atmosphere where everybody's gang banging, 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up gang banging too. If you're in an atmosphere where everybody, robbing, then you're going to end up 9 times out of 10 robbing too. Whatever the atmosphere is, 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up adapting to the atmosphere. So the atmosphere of the game, like I say, the climate of the game, it should be something more thought-provoking. It should be something like, there should be a lot more ambition in the game. We should want a lot more out of the game. A big part of the reason why we not doing more in the game is because we don't really believe that we can do more in the game. We don't believe that we supposed to be millionaires in the game. Like in the streets, it should be a bunch of motherfuckers in the streets right now sitting on millions of hodo. But it's not. It's not. You probably don't know one motherfucker like that. It should be a lot of motherfuckers like that. But the reason why it's not a lot of motherfuckers like that is not because it can't be done. It's because motherfuckers don't believe it can be done. And that's because, again, the atmosphere of the game is, the ambition is small, the belief is weak. And motherfuckers ain't paying attention to what's going on with the rest of the world and how that pertains to us. Motherfuckers ain't paying attention to that shit. And that's why it's a lot of cutthroat shit that goes on in the game. It's a lot of conniving shit that goes on in the game. I could understand if it wasn't enough to go around. That's even though I never agree with that type of shit, it makes sense. If you in an environment or in an atmosphere where it's not enough to go around and everybody is operating rightfully so within a scarcity mindset, then yeah, the chaos that ensues, it makes sense. But we're not in a scarcity type of atmosphere. We're in an abundant, we have a scarcity type of atmosphere, but we're not in the scarcity type of environment. There's no scarcity in our environment. There's no scarcity in the world that's available to us right now. The scarcity only exists in our minds. That's why you have situations, like I said, where, motherfuckers be preying on the pimp's downfall. Motherfuckers that's supposed to be the pimping. Because they don't think it's enough room for everybody to shine and everybody to eat and do it big. When it's more than enough room. It's too much motherfucking room for us to do our thing and be shining and thriving the way that we supposed to. You dig? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up in a couple of minutes. If you haven't wiped your feet off at the door right by now, please do so. What I mean by that, hit that thumbs up button. You dig? Right. Andre Castile says, man, the value of $1 drop every day because there's so much money out here. And that's the truth. And because there's so much money out here, because the value of the dollar drops, guess what the price of everything else does? It goes up. Because the value of the dollar is steadily dropping, the cost of everything goes up. As I've said time and 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 time again, the cost of everything goes up except for the cost of a woman's time and a woman's pleasure. That's the only thing that keeps going down in price. Why? Because the atmosphere of the game, the ambition is low and the belief is weak. The self-esteem is weak. The confidence is weak. And because of that, once again, the price of everything is going up except for the game. And the cold part about it, the price of all the other shit that's going up ain't nearly as valuable as that of a woman. A woman's pleasure. Like, that should be something that's like, motherfuckers just look way up there to see that shit like, damn. That's a hoe up there. Man, I wish I could get up there and have me a hoe. Fuck. What do I gotta do? Damn, I ain't got enough money to get up there to get to that hoe. That's how the world is supposed to be looking at hoes. You know what I mean? Just like how the average person looks at a Rolls Royce roll past and be like, they just know that's something they ain't gonna never be able to afford. Damn. Fuck. Boy, that motherfucker nice. I wish I could afford that. That's how people should look at hoes. Or when a motherfucker see some jewelry or a Rolex or something like that, they look at that shit like, damn, I wish I could afford that. That's how motherfuckers are supposed to look at hoes. Motherfuckers look at hoes like, oh, yeah, $50, shit, I got that. $100, I got that. For real. Even $500 shouldn't be enough for a motherfucker to see a hoe. Because the money is available like that. The money is out there like that. It should be a thing now. And before a couple years ago, I was saying 200. But right now, it should be a thing where for a trick to do anything with a prostitute on the blade, on the track, he shouldn't be able to do anything with a bitch for less than $500. The money is there. Motherfuckers just don't believe it. And motherfuckers don't believe it because they don't pay attention to what's going on in the world. These tricks got bread right now. And they got good credit. Hey, listen, do you know what the average credit score in America is right now? Average credit score in America right now. The average credit score in America right now is 711. Average. That means the average trick, 9 times out of 10, he's somewhere in there. The average trick is somewhere in there. See, listen. That credit score says a lot about an individual, right? Most people with good credit, obviously they pay their bills on time. They responsible. They don't squander money like that. They don't waste money like that. And everything is like calculated 9 times out of 10. And a lot of people with good credit make decent money. So if the average person's credit in America is 711, then that's that much more of an indication to you that these tricks got the bread. They have the bread. It's just you don't want it bad enough to believe it. It kills me when a bitch get to talking about what the tricks say they ain't got. I don't go for that shit. A bitch fucking with me, I don't never want to hear what the trick's saying that he ain't got. Or about lowballing and all that shit. We don't even acknowledge that shit. I ain't going for none of that shit. But a lot of people sit up and watch these bitches live on Instagram and all that type of shit, and certain bitches will get on there talking about, the tricks in whatever area they in is low balling, saying they only got this and saying they only got that. Man, them tricks got bread. You think that a trick, this is a square now. See, us in the game, we have the luxury of being outside all night because it makes sense to us. It's a part of our bottom line. But a square who works a 9 to 5, who 9 times out of 10 has children at home and a significant other at home, a girlfriend or a wife, what have you, they can't afford to just be riding around all night just to be riding around and looking at bitches and not doing nothing with them. That time matters more to that square than it does to you. You know, like, they got to go to sleep they got to spend so much time sleeping. You know, they got to spend so much time, you know, getting up, getting ready for work, you know, tending to their kids and tending to their girlfriend or their wife or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, they got to go to work at a certain time and they have to stay there until a certain time. So their mindset is different from yours. You think that these tricks just be outside riding around, or that they be on the internet late night, you know, calling and texting bitches, or that they just at the casino all hours of the night, or the strip club all hours of the night, and they ain't got no money. No. They telling you that because they know you dumb enough to believe that shit. They have the bread. You just not serious enough about getting it from them. You don't believe you deserve it like that. If you knew for sure that you deserved it, you wouldn't have no problem asking for it. Commanding it. Getting it. Breaking their motherfucking ass. You dig? But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. The bottom line is, man, we need to change the energy in the game. We need to change the atmosphere of the game. We need to change the climate of the game and make it more conducive to us being highly successful. We got to see way bigger so we can be way bigger. The ambition got to be way greater. Stop magnifying small ass shit like a motherfucker counting a few $1,000s or something. Because guess what? If you got $20,000 right now, but you don't own a home, you got fucked up credit, you got a car that you breaking your neck to pay for, all that old type of shit, like, listen, we got to stop magnifying that type of shit. That shit don't mean nothing. However much money you see a motherfucker counting, it don't mean shit. See, Floyd Mayweather could get on there and count a whole bunch of money because along with this whole bunch of money, he got a big ass fucking stupid ridiculous house. He got a whole bunch of ridiculous ass, customized, exotic ass, foreign ass, luxury ass cars. You know what I mean? Jewelry game, stupid. Nigga got all the flyest watches in the world, $20 million watches and shit like that. So when Floyd get on there and count some money, it's different. He got his shit in order. If you get on there and count some money and you don't have your shit in order, or you sitting up there drooling and praising a motherfucker that's counting some money that don't have their shit in order, there's something's wrong with you and them. And that's the type of shit that we got to stop magnifying in the game. We got to stop glorifying that type of shit in the game. So the energy, the atmosphere, the climate of the game has to be more conducive to us being millionaires, to us having leverage, to us having legal leverage. Leverage being in credit, leverage being in businesses, leverage being in money. We need more leverage in the game. We ain't got none right now. As a community in the game, we have zero leverage. And that shit is terrible. Because the cold part about it, even though we not touching as much money as we should, we still touching a lot of money. But that shit don't mean nothing. Because guess what? Just like that trick, break yourself to your hoe, you go break yourself to the Louis store, you go break yourself to the Gucci store, the Ferragamo store, the MCM store, all that stupid ass shit. You ain't no better than the motherfucking trick. You dig? Yeah, Freeze said that, man. I said that. What, you gonna beat me up? You gonna kill me? Because I said that? Hey, so be it, man. I'ma always speak the truth. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all for commenting. I appreciate you for liking, sharing, subscribing. I appreciate you hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate all the super chats. I appreciate all the cash apps. I appreciate your support in every which way that you come with it, man. Y'all already know, man. Freeze is it. We're going to do this shit much sooner than later. You know what I mean? If you ain't wiped your feet off at the door, before we get up out of here, wipe your feet off at the door, man. And we're going to take this sip of this good old love shit on the way out. You dig? If you are moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. I'll holler.